We're live on TCTV Channel 8 and YouTube.
Good evening, everyone. I will call this meeting, the planning board, to order at 6:34 p.m. I believe that we have the minutes to review. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes?
I'll make a motion when everybody's ready to accept the minutes as written.
Sounds good. Do I have a second on that?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Excellent, thank you.
When
Any
everybody's
discussion?
ready to accept the minutes as written.
Seeing none. Second on that. Dennis?
Yes,
Frank?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Was that? And then I'll vote in affirmative. So, but we do. So we have quorum for that, correct? Okay.
you do have.
Thank you.
You do.
Okay. So we're all set on the minutes. But we are still waiting for Kirk, correct?
I'm here. Sorry, I see Kirk is on as well.
I didn't realize you were on there. Thank you, John. Do you want to vote on the minutes?
I'll just abstain since I didn't have time to read them.
Sounds good. Thank you. So I guess moving along, do we want to start on with the Ridge?
No, actually, you have.
I don't have the agenda in front of me. I printed it
Oh.
out and left it at the cafe, so my apologies.
Oh,
I was trying to log back into my email. I didn't have a chance to.
that's okay. We have a request for a covenant release from Michael's Lane.
Okay.
What happened is back when the road was accepted in 2002, the covenant wasn't filed correctly, and there were still easements left on there for the turnaround, which is now a house, and another one is a lot. So in order for those lots to be sold and developed, we need to release the covenant as it was written.
That's right. I reviewed that one day in the office with you, correct?
You did.
Okay.
Where is Michael's Lane located?
It's the road that goes around Gilman Waite Field.
Okay, yeah, okay.
The town accepted it as a road on 9/10/2002. So they had done all of their work. Everything was turned in as it needed to be. It was just released improperly.
Okay.
So basically all we need to do is just a simple vote to release that, or is there anything else? Just a,
Nope, it's a simple vote. Attorney Glenny did up a covenant release for us. It's very simple. It just corrects what was incorrect. I actually emailed a copy of it this morning.
I got it.
so I guess at this time I would entertain a motion to release the covenant.
Do we know what the purpose of the covenant was, other than just to hold the lot, or what?
It's to make sure that everything was completed so that it could be properly become a town road.
Oh, it's regarding the road then, primarily.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I'll make a motion that we release the covenant. Is that what you need?
I believe that, Laura, that's sufficient for the vote, correct? Just,
It is.
okay. Excellent. So I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Oh, second.
Thank you, John. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing no discussion. Dennis?
Yes,
John?
Yes.
Thank you. Frank?
Yes,
I also vote in the affirmative. Thank you very much. Moving right along. Laura, I'm going to tap on you again. What's the next agenda item?
Dear Ridge, it's your last agenda item.
Excellent. Okay. So I did see the email from Whitman and Bingham regarding a few of the outstanding
Talking anymore.
Okay.
welcome, sir.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
How's it going?
Hey,
All
Chris.
right. I like this, have supper during the meeting. I like that. Perhaps I could put the catering in next year's budget.
Oh, only if you bring enough for everybody.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, Charlie, keep going.
So I was looking at the those few issues that are still outstanding in regards to Deer Ridge. Mr. Drouin, have you had a chance to look at what Whitman Bingham has sent to you?
No, I never got that. I got the original one that was sent to us a long time ago. And
Okay.
then since then, my engineer and I, engineer mostly did all the rebuttals or whatever you want to call it, responses to all his back to the Whitman and Bingham. And then since then, I guess we're waiting for a response back from Whitman and Bingham on all them.
Okay.
It was like 50-something questions to start off with. And then we responded to those 50-something. And then
Right.
we haven't heard back. I guess he was getting them done recently.
Right.
You can ask Lori about that.
Yep. No, and we did. We got an email tonight, and I
You got it,
believe
okay.
there was something
I
like
have not yet received it.
I believe we're down to 8, if I'm not mistaken, something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, that's
but-
news to me, but that's okay. I wanted to see what we can get accomplished tonight. Maybe go over those 8 or whatever, what we can get done.
Yeah. Interesting.
This is Julian. I'm here. So if you guys have any questions.
Yeah.
All right.
He's the engineer, so.
Excellent. Thank you.
Charles,
Is
Yeah.
Wes gonna join us at 7? Oh,
Wes
sorry.
did say he was going to try and join at 7.
He said it wouldn't be any earlier than 7, so
Right.
we just gotta proceed. So Charlie, you can maybe just start at the first
Yep.
request on Wes's, you have Wes's,
I'm actually,
Kind of
I'm gonna bring that
bullets.
up. I printed it out earlier and I don't have it in front of me. So if somebody actually wants to just touch base on that until I not seeing.
Well, the first item was the width of the roadway. They requested a waiver for the 20 feet.
correct.
So, and again, according to the bylaw, it states that it has to be built according to subdivision rules and regs. What's the board's feeling on changing the width of the road?
What's the reasoning behind it, asking for the waiver?
Well, just that it's gonna be some private roadway to begin with. And I just don't think it's necessary for us to have that much road width. It's not necessary. It's a dead end road. That's, like I said, private, so it doesn't get a lot of access, and there's only 19 units going there. And I just I guess a combination of expense versus keeping it more of a community roadway. And I just was saying 20 feet was enough, I thought. And that's what we thought when we were designing it. And I guess that kind of goes up to you guys. What do you think? And what do you think is reasonable?
Has the fire
Also-
department weighed
Also,
in on
one, from an engineering standpoint, we tried doing an LID drainage design to minimize as much impervious areas. And that's a big key on one of their LID requirements, is try to minimize as much as you can. So that's another big factor.
What's the bylaw say as far as regular width, road width? 24?
26.
26, I think, is, or 26.
26 travel, 28 paved,
Yeah,
12-inch berms, 26 travel.
I'd be especially concerned about this without a sidewalk. A raised,
Let's one thing at a time, Dennis. Let's stick to the first one, all right?
okay.
The sidewalks on there, please. Dennis, Charlie, you mind if I just kind of keep pushing here?
Nope, have at it.
What does everybody have to say? Dennis, do you have any input on the road width?
Well, the road width, I think needs to be more than 20 and at least 24 maybe.
This is John. I actually think that we should follow what our bylaws state. And we should probably, if we make an exception, which, I'm not opposed to if there's a good argument for it, that we need to be prepared to make exceptions for other applicants that might put the same thing in.
Okay, John. Charlie, you all set or right now?
Yep, nope, keep up, yep.
Just so everybody knows, quick history lesson. I actually wrote this bylaw and I submitted it to town floor under a citizen's petition. It had nothing to do with planning. I submitted it myself and it became a bylaw. And basically, I'm gonna jump the gun here, basically 1 through 10, or whatever we got here. Just about every single thing here, with the exception of 2, was brought up on the town meeting floor for a reason. And I sold to the townspeople that actually adopted this bylaw that it was gonna have town spec roads in it. It has nothing to do with Mr. Drouin or anybody else's financial situation. It has to do with the public safety. I hate the word, oh, it's gonna be private. Private means that people are gonna spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for homes. You don't think they're gonna care about their road? Well, me personally, if I have anything to say about this, which I think I have a little bit, it's gonna go to town specs like every single thing says in that bylaw. Because that's what I sold on town meeting floor, and I'll be the last one to give a waiver on anything that I promised the townspeople as a citizen in a citizen's petition, and also now as chairman of the planning board, I have to follow through with it. That's my take on the road width. That's my take on the sidewalks. I heard an absurd request of painting the sidewalks. I never heard of such a thing. You're gonna have berms, that's for the safety of the people that are walking on the sidewalks. Visitors parking is just for that, visitors parking. All this stuff was thought out, it was brought up through meetings, and the townspeople okayed it. So I don't know where somebody else wants to chime in on the next one you think you're gonna get away with, but convince me of something else, that we need to waive anything. This is by special permit, it's not by right. So convince me why you want to build a substandard road for the benefit of the residents that may live there someday. Explain that to me.
Well, it wasn't that at all. It was just a matter of making it more affordable for the people that are actually buying the property. And the road construction was going to be every bit the same in construction of the road. It was just going to be narrower, was my thought. And it's commonly done throughout other parks that are in the area, whether you want to say town of Templeton should do more or not. I'm just saying this is a very common width and a common way of building the roads. That's all that has been done.
And they have the same common problems, Al. They don't have enough parking. The roads are falling apart prematurely. Basically, the bylaw was sold to the townspeople as written.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was sold to the townspeople as a standard road construction.
It says it in the bylaw. That's what the townspeople
Really?
read on the town floor. That wasn't added later on. That was part of the actual bylaw that was submitted to the townspeople to be built under town specs, rules of the planning board's subdivision control regs.
Well, I'm not trying to, I mean, I was requesting what I could request, and for reasons I thought were valid reasons, still do. I mean, if the planning board doesn't approve it, I'm not here to fight you about it. I'm just trying to do a road what I think is more cost effective and would be fine, be working, be no problem with it, from my opinion. But if you want to do it that way,
Also,
what am I going to
this is-
say?
this
The
is
only
Julian.
request I would see could be waived would be the need for a development impact statement.
Uh-huh.
Don't really feel that's necessary for a project of this size. And detention basin proximity to the property line. I think it's not a significant impact where it couldn't be waived for a few extra feet.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Anybody else care to chime in on my 1 to 10 issues?
Yeah, I will. I believe Kirk's 100% right on this one. Because Mr. Allen, at maybe a couple meetings ago, he presented himself that says he's willing to go along with all our bylaws on a subdivision, So we took him for his word that he would, and I'm very surprised. We come back and we got 8 waivers. These aren't regular rules. What he's asking for are not on our subdivision. And he said, he's bringing up costs. The only cost we're really talking about is Alan's cost. What other reason would you want it?
This is Julian speaking from the engineering standpoint. What the state of Massachusetts and all engineering companies now are trying to do are low impact projects. And the only way to do a low impact project is to minimize the amount of pavement. Making the roads narrower won't make them more inferior. They're just going to make them narrower, which will also work as a second stage to keep traffic slower. These are all tools that we're using now in today's day and age to minimize impact on the environment, on stormwater, and to the project. And this is a private project. This is not a subdivision. So saying subdivision rules aren't being followed, you are correct, because it's not a subdivision. It's a site plan for a senior housing project, which you're trying to keep the prices of the units at a reasonable cost and safety at a high cost. We're trying to make it work.
If you read the actual, I think it's been a while since I've read it, but if you read the actual bylaw that I wrote, it states that that's exactly what this project is a low impact development. That's why it required so much acreage and the minimum use of so much of land and so much as we left for green space. So I don't need to be schooled on the low impact development projects. It seems to me you're just trying to maximize the minimum amount of land that you can use and the maximum amount of land you can use in there. I mean, we could go down the fact that it states also in that regulation that the open space passive regulation says nothing about people having to wear galoshes because all the land you leave in the back is wetlands. And we're not even bringing that up right now. So
that's not true. So don't bring it up.
Accusing us of not recognizing the low impact development. And
But
I am
that's
aware
not true what you just said.
Massachusetts rules and regs.
Don't say that it's all wetlands in the back, because it's not. There's a large open area of upland.
Okay.
So
I think most of these are covered. A next door neighbor says we have a bylaw and rules pertaining to a project like this. How come we're not going by those?
Well, we actually are. That's one of the things that in that bylaw, it does state that we follow subdivision rules and regs. And I think that's where we're kind of looking at now is the road width and things like that in regards to subdivision.
So we already have a rule.
Correct.
It's stamped.
Yeah. It does say in that bylaw that we do follow subdivision rules and regs for the build out of these projects.
So to sum it up then, the road construction, the sidewalks, the berms, the cul-de-sac, they can all be built and installed according to our rules and regs. They're our subdivision control. Because Alan, as you know, you're not going to live there, not that it matters, but you have to look at not so much the people you're going to sell to, but the people who are going to own it 20 years down the road or 40 years down the road. What are they getting? And it better be sufficient roads and parking and cul-de-sac width, so they're not burdened with it later on with maybe the entity you have maybe sells or what have you. You know, things change. You know, times change everything, as we know. Like I always say, we don't own anything. We just rent it while we're here. You know. So.
Okay, well, I'm not here to, to fight you. Just going
it's not
for
a fight. It's the rules.
None of us are fighting, Alan. We're
okay,
discussing.
good. I just want to get along. I'd like to do the project. I think it's something the town would benefit from. And the idea is to be to benefit from it too. I think we're all in business to benefit ourselves also. But I also want to do a nice project, and I want it to be, something that, something that people want to live in. So, I mean, it's going to make the project better. I'll have to be a little bit more expensive with it. It'll all break down among how many people I have there. And that's just the way it is, but, yeah, that's all. I mean, I'm asking you, what are you willing to work with us on, and what do you want to stick to your guns on? And you're kind of telling me now. So I guess we're going to hopefully just move forward with that.
I'm gonna drop down to the bottom one only because I feel it's a good easy one. I'm hoping. Let's see. It looks like detention basin proximity to property line, need of a fence. Is that a fairly simple one to put a fence around the detention pond?
it's a question for Julian.
Do you want a fence around the, I don't think you need fences around detention ponds, but that's my opinion. When it rains, it fills up with water. When it's sunny out, it drains out. I mean, it's no different than any other.
I guess I was
wetland.
looking
I mean,
for,
that's-
yeah, I was looking for some clarification on that. Is it a, I don't know if they were looking for a.
Isn't it designed to drain?
Yes, it'll dry, when it stops raining, it's gonna eventually drain out. But
It just flows
a lot
across.
of ponds, they ask for fences, but that's entirely up to the town. I don't think they're worth having.
I guess I was just trying to look for some clarification on whether or not they was
Uh-huh.
looking at a safety fence or something for, the look of it. So
I think
I
it'd be
thought I-
from the books,
I thought I
personally.
had an easy one. I guess not. I tried.
Nothing easy, Charlie.
Nope.
Does this,
So,
fence butt up against the neighbor's property? Or would it?
Julian, you answering that one?
Can you please repeat that?
I said, would this, I'm just trying to look at my plan right here. Would this proposed pond be up against the neighbor's property is what we're talking about? Is it in the wetlands back or is it against your neighbor's property?
There's nothing proposed in any wetlands, so we're outside of all wetlands. And it's the low end of the property, so that's where all the water's going now. So we're just mitigating using the area where the water's heading anyways. And we're just
Yeah, and
holding,
you got safe slopes coming in and out of it.
yeah,
How
Yeah,
deep
I
is it?
myself, have no issues with or without a fence. Sometimes it's a matter of, Alan, for your, insurance reasons, you're gonna actually ultimately own it. I
Right.
think that's maybe a judgment call on your part from a liability
Yeah.
versus the towns, because it is gonna be private.
Right. I don't know. I haven't really given it much thought. I guess I would put a fence up on at least the side where the people live, but there's no kids there. Not
Yeah.
saying they won't have kids there, but no kids live there. Put a fence up on one side just to keep people from being able to go in, but at the same time, it is supposed to drain, so.
I mean, I would
guess
think, it's, I'm just gonna ask the board, we can put it as discretion of the owner, or
Okay.
unless the board wants to insist on putting a
Yeah.
fence.
And the
guess-
insurance company might tell me,
Yeah,
you really.
yeah, exactly.
And I was just looking at it as more from a aesthetic point of view, if it was something, but again, if it's just a pond, it shouldn't really be that much of an issue. So.
Yeah.
um,
No,
Yeah, I mean-
it really isn't overall. I'm thinking about looks wise, it might actually look better without it, but.
Right, depending on what,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Right.
fine with, unless it's a safety issue or something that would be detrimental to the neighbors, I would be okay with waiving that.
Right.
So the number of homes on a dead end road exceeding, I guess my question is, isn't this kind of didn't we discuss the length of the road to begin with? And-
Yes, yeah, we couldn't go over 800 feet by the bylaw of the town. That's
Yeah.
not something you have privy to be able to override. That's the way I understood it at one of the earlier meetings,
Mhm.
like way back when. I asked that question. I came in with a proposed plan that was like 26 units or whatever, and it
Yep.
went through the wetlands on one side, and then it came out, and then the road was gonna be quite a bit longer, 2,000 feet, 1,500 feet, whatever it was. And at that time, the board said you can't go past 800 feet. That is actually nothing in the control of the board. That's actually a town bylaw, I understand.
Yeah,
So then
yeah.
I redesigned it and come up with a road that's 480 feet. Just doing a smaller project,
Right. Yeah, so what's the length of the road right now?
480.
408, which is well under our 800, correct?
Am I
So-
right about all that, though? You can't go
Yeah,
beyond.
you can go up to 800 feet. The number of homes on a dead end road exceeding 10, that's in the subdivision rules and regs because
Right.
of the 1 acre lots and so on and so forth. But being that this is a cluster development, so to speak,
Right.
yes, the cul-de-sac, the number exceeding 10, I think should be granted because that's something that really,
Right. That's the
Right.
purpose
that's
of the
actually
whole.
addressed, it's actually addressed in the the actual bylaw itself by saying how many homes you can have per acre.
But right. how
As
many
long as you
can
don't
have per-
exceed that number.
Right.
However
And-
long the road, I think it's 6
Eight,
per acre.
6, 8, something like
6
that.
or 8, I don't.
8 per acre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I have to give the land too. Like, that's part of it, is to
Right.
give that much land with the property. So
No.
you have that much open space,
You
which
can
is.
develop up
Yeah,
to 40% in 8 per acre.
Mhm.
Now, these are manufactured homes, correct?
Yes, they are.
Okay, all right.
I could actually bring some brochures in. I just probably could have my act together and gave you some anyway, just so you can see some of them. Pretty nice.
As
They're not
long as
like they
the-
used to be.
As long as the building commissioner knows and
Yeah.
agrees that they're manufactured homes, that's the
Yeah.
extent of our.
That's what you need. Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
So I would think the detention pond fence, that's gonna be entirely up to you, Al.
All right.
I think the board should vote to definitely grant the over 10 on a dead end road because that's the whole nature of the bylaw.
Correct.
And we could delete and grant the need for impact development impacts study.
Right. That's nice.
Now, what's the cul-de-sac size waiver? What's
That needs to stay because there's a reason why it's part of the subdivision rules and regs
Yep.
laws.
Yep, just looking for some clarification on that one.
A lot of these were based on, what from the fire department years ago,
Right.
what does it take to turn a truck around, worst case scenario stuff. If they have to hustle water down the end of the road, that's what all these numbers came from. We just didn't pull a rabbit out of our hat and say, let's make them this big.
Right.
They were all planned from before, so. So other than that, I don't know, we all set when it comes to this?
Oh, I am. I mean, I think that, yeah, we're moving forward. And definitely, talk to my engineer about what it's going to take to get to there, and hopefully, yeah, we can move forward with this.
Okay.
So
do we need to put that in a form of a motion tonight, just so we,
all
Lori,
the things that you already.
how do you want to handle that, Lori?
I would do a motion for those 3 things that you've pointed out so that I can record it.
Okay. Sorry, I have it here on my phone again.
Yeah,
I'll-
3 out of 8, that's not bad.
No, that's not too bad.
Okay, so,
I mean,
based on the list in front of us, I guess, which is reflected in the minutes, Lori, correct? I'm willing to make a motion that we waive the need for development impact statement. Grant the waiver for the exceeding of more than 10 homes on a cul-de-sac. And the discretion of the developer for the fence on the detention ponds. And the proximity to property line if need be. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
okay.
We want to second that?
Second.
John seconds that. Any discussion on those 3 grantings? All right, with nothing heard, all in favor, I say aye.
Aye,
Roll call, I guess.
aye,
Dennis is an aye.
Yep.
Charlie,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye,
John,
Aye.
and I say aye as well. I think we got all the ayes in there. Okay, and then with that being said, the rest have to remain in full force of our regs.
Okay. I mean, without having all that, Wes is in front of me, but yeah, okay. I guess I understand it all.
Well, those were, I spoke with Wes earlier today because he had a
Oh.
prior commitment tonight.
Uh-huh.
And he said he wouldn't be able to chime into at least 7 o'clock.
Right.
But those are some of the bullet items that he wanted. Like you said, only the board could render. He couldn't say one way or another. And so it's basically said if we could handle those, and it would make things easier moving forward.
Okay. So we should do a set of plans with all what we just talked about, redo the plans and to have all that in.
I would say with your engineer being in contact with Wes in case, make sure we didn't miss something.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, just so you don't have to redo it and do it, you know?
right, yeah, do it once,
Okay.
we can.
Are we good? All, with that being said?
I just have one
Good.
question on the road width. So your rules say 26 feet that's it, 26. You won't go 24.
26 curb to curb, with 12-inch berms.
What about sidewalks?
You need sidewalks too, it's in the regs.
Okay,
It's the only thing that saves somebody from walking on the sidewalk and getting hit by a car sometimes is just a curb.
Right,
Better yet, pushing a stroller.
painted sidewalks won't last long.
What's that, Dennis?
I said painted sidewalks wouldn't last long.
They don't do anything.
Right,
Okay. Okay, with that being said, we all set with Mr. Drouin?
I guess I'm all set, yeah,
Yeah,
All
I
right,
believe
now,
so.
do we need to pick a date to continue?
sure.
We do?
We're not,
Like-
I don't.
We're not in a public hearing
Right.
We're not, okay,
right
Okay, we're
now.
not in a public hearing.
no,
Lori?
no,
Okay. So we'll just wait and, when you guys are ready, contact Lori then.
can we just get on the next meeting?
Yeah,
Whenever
or
that-
just whenever you're talking
Whenever
to
we're
Wes, the
ready.
engineer, and
I-
Lori's a phone call away.
I just
Okay.
got a note that Wes is on. I
Okay,
don't know if you have any questions for him.
No, I don't think so. I think we just,
Okay.
we kind of just said no to the exceptions.
Okay. And as an update, I need to let you guys know that I'm still waiting for comments from the fire department. He was working with the fire marshal just to make sure everything was okay, but he seemed pretty confident that he was fine. And the sewer department, I did get a letter from the manager over there, Bob McDonald, but it still has to go before their board, so we'll get a decision from them. Other than that, we have everybody else's comments.
okay. Okay, so it may go, once they talk to the engineer, whatever, talk to Wes, whatever, then they should be fine with what we discussed tonight.
Okay,
And whenever you're ready, Al, come back, or just let Lori know, we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Great night.
I just have a question from Lori. Will you be able to email me the letter from Wes?
as soon as I have it, I can send
Okay.
it to you. It wasn't a
Okay.
formal letter that we received.
Okay, as
Do-
soon as you can
Julian,
get it,
this
that'd
is-
be appreciated.
Yep.
This is Wes. When I should have that done tomorrow for you, and I'll email it to you when I have it done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lori, there's just one thing. I noticed on the Al Drouin's report from the light company, they refer to it as a 19-unit mobile home park. Maybe they just want to change that.
To manufactured home park?
Pardon?
You want to change it to what? To manufactured
Well,
home park?
they refer to it as a mobile home park and it's
Uh-huh.
not. Yeah, so.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Just terminology I think he used.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
thank
Wes,
you,
that
Paul.
answer your question? Wes is all set then?
I'm good.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Lori, what's next on your agenda?
Thank you. We'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The only thing I had on the agenda was your next meeting date as of right now is March 9th. I don't have any agenda items yet, but I'm sure something will come up. And adjournment.
Okay. All right, good seeing all you ugly guys and girls again.
Always a pleasure.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Thanks,
Okay, all in
guys.
favor?
Everyone have a great night. Take care.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night. Thank
Hey,
you.
Charlie, thanks for making us make the news again. You couldn't have
Hey.
just done it, in September. We
Hey.
have to relive it. Thanks.
You're just jealous. I got mine down a little cheaper.
Yeah, really. Poor Kirk. Sorry, Kirk.